Epilepsy is a neuropsychiatric disorder. It has a high statistic today among children and young adults. India has about 10 million people suffering from epilepsy. 95% of them are never treated for it because of not having access to valuable treatments. Also, quote, it is the most expensive chronic neurological brain disorder in Europe. According to the World Health Organization and the World Bank, the costs of epilepsy constitute 0.5% of all diseases. This from the Journal of Epilepsy Research in 2015. Epilepsy, as much as we have reliable documentation, has always existed in ancient civilizations. For thousands of years, epilepsy was considered a sacred disease, and people affected by it were often held spiritual. In many cases, epilepsy was touching the special ones, high priests, kings, warriors, etc. Some of the most famous personalities we know from history were epileptic. For example, St. Paul, Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, Dante, Joan of Arc, Isaac Newton, Molière, Napoleon Bonaparte, Handel, Beethoven, Flaubert, Paganini, Lewis Carroll, Alfred Nobel, etc., etc. So we have to ask ourselves why this neurological dilemma appears in such an intense mode in our modern society. And on the other hand, why did and still does it touch quite a number of outstanding, strong guys, so to say, characters known for amazing accomplishments in their lives? Was it their stronger exposure to stress and strain? Was it the intensity, or is it the intensity of their brain functioning, their psychoneurological outfit, which also makes them special? And what are possible treatments today or back in time? One of it was fumigation, or is fumigation. The Journal of Epilepsy Research mentions Rishi Muni and Yajurveda in Ayurveda. These are performances in India with Havan, using smoke to cure all kinds of disorders. Rigveda, the most ancient written text of knowledge, speaks of sublimating the Havan Samagri. It's a mixture of wood with odoriferous and medicinal herbs, and they are in the fire accompanied by the chanting of Vedic mantras. Smoke produced at high temperature is considered as a simple way of administering a drug, which exhibits rapid pharmacological activity when inhaled. The sublimated vital elements and herbal medicines inhaled in a yagya, for example, in Vedic rituals, first reach the brain, followed by lungs and other subtle components of the body. Thus, it has a direct healing effect on brain-borne diseases and complexities. This quote. The use of herbal fumigation in order to reach directly the brain is not far from using potential healers of neurological disorders of the modern kind, the essential oils. Now, what is behind that? Physiologically explained, epileptic seizures are caused, quote, by imbalance between excitatory and inhibitory processes in the brain, and are due to abnormalities in the membrane properties of neurons. The whole process seems to be also linked to the cellular energy centers, the mitochondria, and to oxidative stress, meaning free radicals leading to abnormal bioelectric discharges of the neurons in the brain. We can simply say the main factor is heightened exposure to stress in sensitive individuals with subliminal tendencies to neuronal brain excitation. We know today that stress factors, anxiety, emotional excitations, etc., are well-known triggers for epileptic seizures. Quote, while neurologists recommend that patients with epilepsy avoid stressful situations as a way of avoiding stress-induced seizures, it is not always possible to do so, highlighting the need for therapeutic alternatives. End of quote. One more reason why the stress-reducing, anxiety-relieving plant oils and herbals are so successful in treating epilepsy. There is excellent scientific research and documentation on using essential oils against seizures and chronic epilepsy. It is amazing always to see how reluctant the medical corporation is to consider herbal medicine and aromatherapy linked to lifestyle changes as promising curative alternatives. Let's go back to the fumigation approach. What were the ancient cultures using? In many cases, the basic herbals came from wood, bark, roots, or resin. All these are easy to change into smoke and inhale with a direct access to the brain. And not to forget, these substances are aromatic and stem from the denser parts of the plants, which can also be important given their heavier molecular weight. Here two experiences with frankincense, the traditional sacred fumigator in Christian religion. One here, I have been using frankincense oil for over a month now. My daughter is an infant and is having unexplained seizures. I ordered it after being up all night and read about it and decided to at least give it a try. Her meds make her a bit sleepy and grumpy, but that first day I put on her, she was immediately alert and back to her normal self. I rub a drop on her feet and brainstem, and that's about twice a day. Since then she has only had one seizure, and it was very mild compared to her other ones, which normally lasted 20 plus minutes. And the other one? Our son had his first partial complex seizure when he was 18 months. By the time he was 3.5 years old, he was on 3 different anti-seizure medications. Yet he was still having daily seizures. The seizures were awful, but the medication's side effects were equally bad, and they weren't stopping the seizures. We were desperate to find a solution. So when a friend of mine asked me if we had tried frankincense, as kooky as it sounded, we decided to give it a try. That was over 8 months ago. We applied a couple of drops of frankincense to the front and back of his neck twice a day. Result, from day 1, no seizures. Over the next 7 months, we weaned him off all 3 of his anti-seizure medications. He is now medication-free, oil only, for a month without a seizure. Frankincense oil has given our son his life back. Interesting also the anticonvulsant effect of vetiver oil. The heavy oil distilled from the roots shows again that when the brain is affected with an overcharge of nervous energy, like in Ayurveda explained, we need the brain of the plant, as says Charles Darwin, the root, in order to achieve healing. Vetiver root is considered a good remedy against nervous disorders in traditional Thai medicine, as well as in Ayurveda, where it plays its role as antidote to an imbalanced Vata dosha. Another oil is agarwood or Aquilaria agalocha, which has been used in Ayurveda for a long time for the treatment of different types of mental illnesses, including seizures. It is famous for having a strong connection with the brain, again as a wood resin oil, strengthening the nervous system and enhancing the mind-body connection, leading to a more harmonious functioning of the nervous system in general. In countries like Saudi Arabia, agarwood or oud is considered uplifting, invigorating, aphrodisiac. In Japan, it was long used as a sedative and anxiolytic. Research shows that aqueous extract of hardwood of Aquilaria agalocha had exhibited significant anticonvulsant activity in mice. Photoconstituents like flavonoids and saponins were reported for their anxiolytic and anticonvulsant effects, and these too were present in aqueous extracts of this plant. These active principles can be accounted for both anxiolytic and anticonvulsant effects. This is a quote from Biopharmacology Journal. Remember, a relaxing smell can help. Experiences with persons exposed to regular seizures have shown that often the positive, relaxing smell of an essential oil can help to prevent seizures. Research was carried out, for example, at the University of Birmingham in the Seizures Clinic, which involved using essential oils with individuals who had epilepsy. The studies used aromatherapy massage to allow individuals to associate the smell of an essential oil with a state of relaxation. Then, when the person was stressed or felt a seizure about to start, they could smell the essential oil. This would remind their brain of the relaxing feelings, which aimed to help stop their seizures from happening. Results showed that with practice, a person may be able to relax by simply smelling the particular oil, which could then lead to fewer seizures. From this research, jasmine oil was the most effective, although this may not be the case for everyone with epilepsy. We should not forget, a very important part of the limbic system of the brain, the amygdala, is considered to be our stress and anxiety center, with a tremendous capacity to memorize traumas and make them surface in no time under special conditions. Research in the 1980s has shown that the amygdala is first of all responding to smell. It may very well be that simply facing an olfactive stimulus, like an essential oil associated with pleasure, makes the amygdala turn off its so-called operant conditioning of panic and fear, and send messages of relaxation to the system, with the effect that the seizure triggering impulses are inhibited. And then, of course, the royal helper, Jatamansi or spikenard. Already the famous Charak Samhita, one of the oldest Ayurvedic texts from India, speaks about Jatamansi. When you translate it from Sanskrit, Jatamansi means bestower of life. It's a powerful cure for epilepsy. Jatamansi is used in various ancient medicinal recipes. The effects of these formulas confirm the powerful anticonvulsant activity, the anti-Parkinson's activity, tranquilizing activity, as well as hepatoprotective and neuroprotective action. Rao et al. Have studied ethanol extracts of the roots of Jatamansi for its anticonvulsant activity and neurotoxicity, alone and in combination with phenytoins in rats. The results demonstrated a significant increase in the seizure threshold by root extracts. Here an experience of a friend with Jatamansi. Hello Malte, it's me, Amanda. How are you? I'm sending you a text I made about Jatamansi essential oil, my favorite. The inspiration came from the day I took a trip with friends, and a friend had an epileptic seizure. I gave her the oil to smell, and she stopped short. It was amazing and rewarding. I am so grateful to have had the opportunity to buy it and be able to use it at this important time. I miss the days in Provence. Will always be marked in my heart. Here a list of some more of the most successful natural herbal remedies against epilepsy. We have, for example, nutmeg, valerian, clove, nagarmota or cypriol, jasmine, ilang-ilang, lavender, Roman chamomile, bergamot, clary sage, patchouli, mugwort, lemon balm, melissa, rose, holy basil or tulsi, rosewood, and kevra. And in the herbals we can quote saffron, lotus, mango, bacopa, which is called in Ayurveda Brahmi, ashwagandha, and mistletoe, kava, passion flower, calamus, ginkgo, ginseng, amla, and others. And here's some carrier oils: sesame, coconut, black cumin or Nigella sativa, passion flower seed, hemp seed, and of course also CBD. An aromatic kit for an epileptic birth-giving mother proposed by Susanna Davidson in her book Living with Epilepsy and Aromatic Oils is this year. The kit contains oils of clary sage, jasmine, lavender and rose to assist with my contractions, to help my mind to focus and relax, and to prevent anxiety of seizure activity. With the help of a doula, I was successful giving birth to a healthy baby boy, and my obstetrician was very impressed with my aromatic baby kit. She informed me she had never seen such a comfortable labor or witnessed a mother to be laughing during contractions. So, to conclude, we should never be frightened by epilepsy, because not only that it is curable, but also that we know today that we have efficient natural medicine at our disposal, which has a direct access to the very center where epilepsy is created. Mother Nature has always a solution. We just have to be ready and curious enough to ask for her help. In the final end, an overcharge of our system with Vata-induced vibrational excitation in the brain is happening all the time in our stress-ridden world. It is just that some are more sensitive to this and need a balancing, grounding, more kapha-induced medical, at best herbal medical aromatic compensation.